What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Dash Lifestyle. Kindly for watching me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share and also comment. So guys, in today's video I want us to watch and to listen to this powerful message from Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore, he has come out and sent a warning message to all puppet and corrupt Caribbean and African leaders to change. And also we want to see majority of Jamaicans, they have come out and they are really supporting Ibrahim Traore. They are also sending a message to all African people and black people in the Caribbean and black Americans to support Ibrahim Traore. So kindly guys, watch this till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
Bonjour à tous.
Hello everyone. I would like to welcome all the young people from the 13 regions who are in the room and those who have not been able to access the room. To all the young people from Africa, to accompany the youth, welcome to the land of integral men. I would like to pay a vibrant tribute to our strong security and defense forces who fight day and night for Burkina Faso to be and remain beautiful. I would like us to take a minute to pray for those who are on the ground and also for the rest of the souls of those who have fallen for our country. Thank you. Thank you. Let us give thanks to God for allowing us to be here today to celebrate the International Youth Day in good health. I say this very often because human beings often forget God when they have no problem, when they are in happiness. But when worries come, this is when we remember God. Give thanks every day for the breath of life and for health. Youth from Burkina Faso, youth from Africa, youth, this phase of life where we have enough strength, enough energy, like the paraphrase, the slammer that has just passed. Youth is the time when we have spent enough time. We must take advantage of the time we have been given. Use the energy necessary to reach our goals, to change the world, to change our world, to change the world of others positively. Children want to grow up to be young. Older people want to grow up to be young. Everyone wants to be young. Youth is a blessing. So take advantage of youth to do useful work. This is why when I see in the chosen theme, the first two words that come to mind, integration, security. Africa faces many challenges, and we must ask ourselves questions. Is youth an asset or a handicap for the development of nations? The answer is simple and unequivocal, and you know it. Developed countries mostly have an aging population, and currently many countries have launched programs to rejuvenate their populations. Africa has this chance to have a very young population. But why is Africa not developed? We must therefore look at the question of why Africa has a young population and why it is not developed, and why developed countries seek to rejuvenate their populations. We must transform our youth into a real asset and engine of development for our continent. To do this, we need integration. We need security and development. We need to unite. You will hear about the African Union. Yes, it exists, but what is the effect of the African Union? We cannot talk about integration and not talk about the African Union, because it is this organization that should unite us, create real integration. But we regret to see this war that persists on the African continent, that kills millions of young people, and that this organization, which has the head of state provided with an army, cannot organize itself to support certain countries. The Union is not just a word, the Union is a symbol. And we young people should learn from this situation to unite us to make integration a reality. I was unpleasantly surprised when Ethiopia, which is the seat of the African Union, experienced a conflict, and when the Prime Minister announced to close the university in Addis Ababa to face the threat, I did not see the action of the African Union to protect this seat. Western states, for the most part, saw Addis Ababa fall, fold their backpacks, and leave. Ethiopia fought, found an internal solution, and lives more or less in peace today. The children of Congo have been dying for years. Several other conflicts, such as in Sudan, exist on the continent. We would have liked to see the African Union generate the strength and all the strategies necessary to support its states so that they can find peace. We will not even talk about us here in the Sahel. For nearly 10 years, the Sahel has been the scene of international terrorism. But we see no support from these organizations to find a solution to this problem. Worse, a few days ago, a foreign country in Africa openly announced that it had supported and participated in a cowardly, terrorist, and barbaric attack against the forces of our confederation. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference. The African Union did not say a word to condemn this interference of a foreign state in Africa in the internal affairs of our states. I would like them to hear this shout and get out of their silence and take action so that the youth can believe in the African Union. We must unite. The only way to unite is to talk to each other, to understand each other, and to be able to establish the basis of this unity. Young people, let me tell you that to unite, there are three words, three big screws that we must ban from our behavior and our lives. I am talking about cowardice, treachery, and incompetence. We must ban these three words from our way of life. I am going to explain why. Cowardice covers many screws. A coward is always afraid. And when we are afraid, we become slaves. We bend. We lick our boots. Our ancestors were not cowardly. And if we are cowardly, our children will ask us questions. Imagine that in Burkina Faso we refuse to fight and we accept to submit, to live in slavery. Tomorrow our children will grow up and they will ask themselves questions. Have our parents been cowardly to leave us in slavery? Whether we are alive or dead, we will feel it. Cowardice is afraid, and the imperialists have understood that they are trying to scare the leaders so that they become cowards. Because when you are a coward, all the other screws can be born. We do everything so that we are afraid. They come to our palaces, they threaten us directly or with veiled threats. Of course, we respond as it is necessary. They try to make us understand. They take examples every time. They tell us, you know, Thomas Sankara tried to do this, but he is dead. President Haitian tried to do this, but he is dead. Gaddafi tried to do this, but he is dead. These are words that we take in a veiled way to scare us. And we often see some young people trying to take our path in a different way. We can hear them say, such and such person ruled like this, he is in his country. Such and such person ruled like this, he is in prison. All this to try to scare us so that we become cowards. But I think they didn't understand one thing. When we say country or death, we win. It's not just a sentence. It's not just a sentence. It all makes sense. We are not afraid and we will never be afraid.
Ils ont fait peur sûrement à beaucoup de chefs d'État africains.
They probably scared a lot of African heads of state. They probably scared a lot of African heads of state. You see, often when we express ourselves or when we have the opportunity to be in certain situations abroad, we often say something to call on African heads of state to wake up and take care of our youth so that we can start our real development. So that we can start our real development. We are often misunderstood. Some have publicly opposed us. Some have publicly opposed us because they feel indexed. But I can assure you, youth, that when we find ourselves in the corridors, these same heads of state tell us that we are on the right track and that this is what needs to be done so that Africa can rise again. So we ask them questions like, why don't you do like us? Why don't you support us? Some tell us that they have the means, and some tell us that they can't. Dear elders, African heads of state, at the end of this podium, I would like to say that African peoples are the most peaceful. That African peoples are the most peaceful. When you recognize a wrong, you have to tell the people. When you recognize a wrong, you have to tell the people. We are not afraid to come out and tell the people we are sorry. We have been compromised. We have been mistreated, we have been compromised by several things, and we ask for forgiveness, and we come back on the right path and to start working really for the independence of our states and our emancipation. And I think it is possible. If we remain in this posture of fear, we will be cowardly and history will judge us. Our children will ask questions, our grandchildren will ask questions. We are writing history. There is no place for cowardice. If our ancestors had been cowardly, we would not be here. Do you remember? I will give you an example of the people of Bamileke and Bassa. I want to talk about the Cameroonians, the union of the population of Cameroon. which since the 1950s has started a relentless fight against the Poles, but they have been massacred. The French colonial armies, in turn, have dispatched infantry battalions, tanks, helicopters, have annihilated anti-village. The most inhuman tortures have taken place during this period. You can do research on what they call the cart or the bakasima. Hundreds of thousands of people have been decimated in Africa because they dared to ask their settlers to leave their land. A civil war that lasted several years. That is to say that people dared to face the imperialists with their bare hands so that we could be here. There is no reason why we cannot face the imperialists so that our future generations can live. There are many examples throughout Africa of brave men who refused to be cowardly, who fought, who faced. Well, let us be worthy of these people. We are their descendants, and let us be worthy of them. A coward cannot be worthy. Let us not be cowards, young Africans, because a coward is always a traitor. And it goes hand in hand. They will try to frighten us so that we become cowards. And if we are cowards, we will betray. We must ban the treachery of our habits. Africans have been traitors so that the slave trade succeeds in Africa. It is because Africans have been traitors that colonization has been able to sustain in Africa. Let us question history. We will see. Lumumba, Patrice Lumumba, was betrayed because he dared to hold his head. And these same beautiful televisions came to the Congo for a few bids extended to individuals in the Congo for an interview to please their population. And you were able to follow that. Lumumba bothered us. He is dead. We are happy. It is treachery. Many other heroes have fallen so that we are here today. And it is a technique of imperialism to frighten others by taking action to really create terror. It has not started today. I will give you the example of a warrior who fought, Victor Byakabod. Read it and you will understand. He came from a family of chiefs. No chiefdom given by the colonizer. He was a worthy child. He studied in Senegal, I believe. He became a doctor in Guinea. And when the RDA was created, he went to the Ivory Coast region to fight against imperialists, against invaders, against the colonizer. He tried to organize the Ivorian society. Everywhere, people began to speak up. There was a general in his time, Pichu, who massacred the Ivorian population so that this spirit of freedom could never germinate. He continued his fight alongside Fewrci Lix Ufeboigny. They fought. But the most violent was Victor Byakabod. He represented a threat to the imperialists. What did he do? In addition to massacring the people who demonstrated, one night they killed him in an atrocious way next to Bois-Flancy. A few hours later, when the people of Dimbakro heard the murder, they marched, they demonstrated. They were massacred by the colonial army. History was killed. The facts are there. After his death, which scared FOC Lix Ufeboigny, they called him and told him, if you continue the fight, He was afraid and he joined imperialism. He was appointed minister in France and later he came to take the reins of the Ivorian Accord. They used him to eliminate many other people who dared to raise their voices. I think Thomas Sankara is a good example. If you are afraid, you will be cowardly and you will be a traitor. Never be afraid. The fight must continue. There are many other examples around the world. And there is this phenomenon that they have also used for a long time and that they continue to use. You see, some individuals, for example, have found themselves in other countries and created a so-called parallel government to the Malian government. You have heard this story. It is a technique that has existed for a long time. I will give you the example of Ahmed Chalabi, Iraq. This math teacher, who was even in the Iraqi government, was recaptured by the imperialists, and he formed this semblance of parallel government in Iraq, in the United States. And he was used to be the sheep of sacrifice, because it was to him that it was said that Saddam Hussein was developing weapons of mass destruction, and he did it. They used him, and this Chalabi was used to kill millions of children in Iraq and destroy Iraq. And do you know what was the fate of Chalabi? One evening after an interview, he said that he knew that the CIA was on his back. A few hours later, he was found dead in his bed, dead of a heart attack. If you betray, you will have macabre endings. That's how it is. Imperialism has no friends. Imperialism uses you. And when it finishes using you, it does what it wants with you. Follow my gaze. You understand what I'm talking about. It has always been like this. The third vice that I invite you to leave is incompetence. I'm coming back to the word of the Islamist who walked on my tongue. Incompetence. You understand what I'm talking about. Incompetence is a very dangerous phenomenon that they use to destroy African society. In our administrations, there is a lot of incompetence. Let's recognize it. Incompetence have a lot of space next to imperialism. Because incompetence can take over the development of a country. Incompetence can lead you to doubt yourself. Incompetence love ease. Incompetence love everything for themselves. Incompetence don't like those who are competent. They don't like those who innovate, those who seek. Incompetence are dangerous. When you are enlightened, incompetence don't like you. When you want to innovate, incompetence don't like you. Incompetence only recognize those who are competent, and they will fight him until his last breath. Because he is afraid of those who are competent. Seek knowledge and work. Work hard to be competent. Ban incompetence. Because through distractions that we want to make us adopt, we become incompetent. I'll give you an example. Social networks are the places where information is published today. People are informed through the internet. A young man who publishes an article on his farm, or an agricultural project or a scientific project may not have 1,000 views. But a young man who publishes on futility has millions of views.
Ce que moi j'appelle du n'importe quoi.
As the young slammer said, we want to waste your time on futility.
Justement, comme disait
Be
le
aware.
slammer,
Let's
on peut
focus
faire
on
perdre
work
du temps
and
dans
seek
la
knowledge.
futilité.
Let's seek
Prenez
competence.
conscience. Intéressons-nous au travail.
It's good to be
Cherchons la
distracted,
connaissance.
but we must work first before being distracted. Seek knowledge, otherwise you'll waste your
Donc, on
time
va
doing
travailler
nothing.
d'abord, avant de se distraire. Cherchez la connaissance, sinon vous perdrez du temps à ne rien faire. Et la jeunesse,
Youth is the time when you must use your time wisely.
il faut exploiter son temps à bon escient. Les impérialistes le savent.
The imperialists know this.
Ils vont multiplier tout ce qui est événement de distraction. Ils vont multiplier tout ce qui est
That's why they multiply all events of distraction.
travail. Pour que vous soyez des incompétents.
They multiply all events that can distract you from work so that you become incompetent. When you fall asleep, you choose the incompetent to lead the important structures. You have no choice but to fold. Let's not be incompetent. Let's seek knowledge.
Les incompétents se cachent souvent derrière des mots.
Incompetents often hide behind words. They use the terms democracy and freedom without realizing what they mean.
Camarades, la démocratie est un état
Democracy is a state of mind as much as youth is a state of mind.
Ces soi-disant démocrates,
Whether you're a Democrat or not,
comment est-ce qu'on peut
how can you impose democracy by killing millions of people?
C'est de la dictature, ça, ce n'est pas de la démocratie. Ça ne
It's a
s'impose pas.
dictatorship, not democracy. You can't impose it.
Ceux-là qui se disent démocrates, mais regardez, nous avons
Those who
vu
call
des
themselves
scènes
Democrats
où on a
have seen
empêché des gens
scenes where
d'entrer
people
dans
were
des
prevented from joining
assemblées. On a vu des
assemblies.
scènes où des forces ont débarqué dans des assemblées pour obliger
We've seen
les
scenes
députés
where
à faire
forces
des textes.
landed in
On a
assemblies
vu
to
des
force
scènes
deputies to take texts.
plus terribles que ça.
We've seen more terrible scenes where people kill their demonstrators. But they call themselves Democrats, and we're called Perseus.
Si c'est ça la démocratie, je répète. nous
If that's
ne voulons pas de cette
democracy, I
démocratie.
repeat, we don't want this democracy.
Et quand vous voyez souvent les incompétents,
And when you see
ils ne
incompetence,
cherchent pas à savoir quelle est la signification du
they
mot
don't seek to
démocratie
know
en
what the
réalité.
real meaning of the word
Ils s'accrochent
democracy
juste
is.
à la définition qu'il lui a donnée l'impérialisme et il se met
They cling to the definition given to them by imperialism and start talking about democracy without really knowing the basics. That's incompetence.
Regardez le monde pour redéfinir la
You have to know,
démocratie que nous le voulons.
look at the world to redefine democracy as we want it in Africa.
Les incompétents se cachent derrière les libertés.
Incompetence hides behind freedom. Remember, there is no individual freedom. It's a fact.
C'est un fait.
Do you really think everyone is
Pensez
free?
vraiment que chacun est
Freedom is collective. As long as we live in a society with
Tant
rules,
que nous vivons dans
freedom
une
is
société
collective.
avec des règles, la liberté est collective. Parce que si vous ne respectez pas les règles,
Because if you don't respect the rules, you can't live in society.
si vous êtes libre de parler comme
If you're
vous
free
voulez,
to speak as you please, the other is free to answer as he
de vous
pleases.
répondre comme il veut.
That would be disorder.
Ça sera du désordre. Si vous êtes libre de
If
rouler
you're
dans la
free to
rue et
walk
de
the
passer
streets
le
and
feu
pass
rouge
traffic
comme vous voulez,
lights as you
l'autre est
please,
libre de passer aussi et de vous cogner.
the other is free to pass by and
Vous
hit you.
comprenez que si
You understand
la
that if
liberté
individual
individuelle
freedom
prend le
takes
dessus,
over,
nous sommes
we are in a
dans une société
society of
désordre.
disorder.
Voilà pourquoi il y a des règles dans la société.
That's
Les
why
règles,
there are
tout le monde
rules
doit
in
les
society,
respecter. Et là, on parle de liberté collective.
and everyone has to respect the
Donc,
rules.
certains se donnent le droit de parler de leur liberté individuelle.
That's why we're talking about collective freedom. Some people have the right to speak about their individual freedom, but they don't care about others. I think that's also part of incompetence,
Ils s'arrogent les droits que peut-être les États les ont donnés.
because they don't try to understand. They make up the rights given by the states to serve and do everything for themselves, neglecting the freedom of others.
On pense à la liberté d'autrui.
No, freedom is collective. Before we act, we think about the freedom of others, and we shouldn't transcend the freedom of others. So we need to have a reserve. And once we have a reserve, individual freedom doesn't exist. Freedom is collective, and we need to have this culture of collective freedom. So let's seek knowledge, let's read, let's interrogate history. Don't read the history they wrote in their favor. Seek knowledge through several sources, and you will understand in history who fought for Africa, how we must fight to continue this struggle of our ancestors. And I won't finish my words without making a statement about communication. Because, as I said, it's the fatal weapon of imperialism. And you young people, you must do everything to distinguish the true from the false. We will continue to dismantle the lies of imperialist media that always try to create problems in Africa. Because these media, through their mouths, can make you a king tomorrow. Through their mouths, they can make you leave your position as king and make you a poor slave tomorrow. Pay attention. I was following a program, unfortunately not long ago, in Burkina Faso, where a young journalist released a sentence that left me a little perplexed. He was talking about North Korea, and the journalist said, "But he is starving in North Korea." Has he taken care of going to North Korea to investigate to see if he is really starving? Since imperialist media have sold North Korea is more developed than many European countries. And because these media tell us that North Korea is a dictatorship, people are starving, they are poor, they have nothing, we take it here. But North Korea is a nuclear power. How did they do it? Let's pay attention to communication. We must not blindly follow these lying media that only try to divide Africa. It is logical. They fight for the interests of their people. And the interest of their people is that Africa is divided. So, young people of Burkina Faso, young people of Africa, we must unite. We must ban cowardice. We must ban incompetence. We must ban treachery and all the risks in our society. We have the opportunity to speak. We thank God for these opportunities that we have each time to speak, to raise awareness. And I invite you to spread the word, to get to work so that the Africa that we want, self-sufficient in terms of food, is a reality. So that the Africa that we want for harmonious development is a reality. Let me finish because I return to your theme. There is no peace and security without development. The two go hand in hand. If there is no development, there is no security. Because if there is no development, the youth will inevitably find themselves in the vice and there will be no security. If there is no security, there is no development. So the two must go hand in hand. Let's integrate this in our fights so that we can fight and develop. Let's go towards production. Let's produce enough. Let's transform our raw materials so that they are beneficial for our populations and in terms of exportation. I wish you a very good day of reflection on the chosen theme and also on the essential role of youth in this fight. Good luck to all. May God make sure that all those who have made the trip return home in good health and that we can meet again when we wish it by the grace of God. La patrie ou la mort. Thank you.
I just want to know where it take. I just want to know where it take. So we just unite. powerful leader, Africa. Yo, it's just the love inside of my heart. It's just the love, the movements, the power, the force when I see the man have from so far. Yo, we've been down for too long. Africa, stand up. We've been down for too long. Africa, stand up. We've been down for too long. Just because of our skin color, we get treated as the less. Africa, stand up. Younger generation, stand up. The time is now. The time is now. And as a Jamaican, with tears around my eye, we need to unite. Ibrahim, Traore, like, the love is massive. As a Jamaican, I represent Africans, no matter which part of Africa you're from. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to make your voice hear. We've been down for too long in a mental slavery. We've been down too long in a poverty. We've been in a modern slavery now for too long. We need to break the cycle there. And we have one leader and we can't afford for them doing like what them do the rest of the leader them. This one is for the people. And as a people person, this morning I get up, I'm tears. But the tears I love for no say, yes, somebody's here we are represent. Somebody's here. Somebody there we are stand up for we. Somebody there we are stand up for Africa and say, yeah, this is what we deserve. This is what I feel we are gonna make use of it. So if you're African, a time to stand up. A time to stop running back at white people. It's time for we put ourselves in first.
While everyone's talking about Ibrahim Traore, about Africa breaking free from old systems, colonial currencies, foreign control, it's probably a good time to ask, what about the Caribbean? Jamaican dollars printed in the UK, Barbadian money made in Canada, independent on paper, dependent in production. And this isn't just symbolic, it's economic, because if you don't control your currency, you don't control your economy. In a crisis, you wait. In inflation, you stall. You're always a step behind because the tools that power your system still belong to somebody else. And here's the part that no one says out loud. Africa is the business of the world. So is the Caribbean. We export the talent, the raw materials, the culture, the compliance. They export the profits. So when Traore talks about cutting ties, he's not just being radical. He's being strategic, because if you don't own the process, you are the product. And that's the business case.
A fire! It's a blazing years. Me I say for big up Ibrahim Traore. Yeah, from Burkina Faso, Wasso. You know, she said, Jah rise up a deliverer in Africa. Yo, Mandela reach him at a different level at a different time. But they never did know, say, yo, Ibrahim Traore would have reached him this way at this time. Ancient sons and daughters of Mother Africa. Long were the days of pain that we have spent in bondage, and longer yet were the nights of aloneness. And know that yesterday is today's memory and today is tomorrow's dream. If today is tomorrow, what's tomorrow today? Our ancestors are the boats from which Ibrahim Traore as a living arrows are sent forth. African, rise above your ashes as a phoenix. I am a poet, and what do I care about our black story? It wouldn't do if anyone should tell I that I and I should have forget our black story. For with the shackle and the chain with the beat of our backs, they beat us. They beat our ancestors so hard that this generation is still feeling the pain. Whoa. They wanted to kill us, but you know, we got the will to live. That is the reason why we survive. We are the leaves of life, we can grow anywhere. Ancient sons and daughters of Mother Africa. On fire! hot it up blazing, yes. Big up, me I say, to Ibrahim Traore, yeah man, down a Burkina Faso. You know, see themself a pick sense out of nonsense. But Ibrahim Traore see no sense into nonsense and no nonsense into sense. The man sense is sense as sense and nonsense as nonsense. So Ibrahim Traore draw fence between the sense and the nonsense and draw fence. Him look at the sense and he looks at the nonsense and he still go back and check the fence from depths to extents. You know, see that this leader spring up like, you know, dense like weeds from extra depths of existence. Is nurtured, all people learns to aspire. Ibrahim Traore is more than corn and autumn's fire. He comes with sober harmony, nurse the hope, his cause is mine, I will not give up. A fire, African unite. Ibrahim Traore, big up yourself, and that way I say from down in Jamaica, you saw. Yeah man, keep it together. Africa unite, blazing.
America is so out of touch with reality, they think that the same playbook that they've been able to use on other African leaders is going to work with Burkina Faso. This man bulked up his security before he tried anything. He first got the Sahara Alliance with Mali and Niger, and now other African countries are trying to join them. Pulled out of every Western-sponsored African union. Made deals with Russia, China, and now has North Korea coming out and saying, we got his back if anything happens. You're not dealing with the Africa that you were able to manipulate. The Africa of our grandparents and our parents, where you manipulated and destroyed everything and convinced us that our countries were shitholes when you steal resources from our shithole countries. I am so proud of Burkina Faso and everything that country has been able to do, and all of the Sahel Alliance countries. Now we just need other African leaders to wake the F up and understand that Africa has the resources to dominate the globe. And it is time that we stop being considered a shithole continent altogether, because these countries have decided that they would rather keep us impoverished than working with us.
So guys, I hope you have watched and listened to that video from Ibrahim Traore. I really love to bring you right nowadays Ibrahim Traore, because Ibrahim Traore is that one of our African youngest leader that he is so brave, and also he is a fearless leader whereby he always tells the Western countries, the United States and France, to leave African country alone. And Ibrahim Traore, he has come out and exposed what the Western people they are doing to the black countries. Ibrahim Traore, he's trying to fight the end of imperialism. We want to fight this imperialism in our African and Caribbean country. That's why Ibrahim Traore is sending a warning message to the corrupt and puppet leaders to change, because revolution, it is coming. We saw what happened when the United States and France threatened to arrest Ibrahim Traore. Majority of Jamaicans, majority of the black people in the Caribbean, majority of the black Americans, majority of African people, they came out and they were supporting Ibrahim Traore. So seeing such support, it has made Ibrahim Traore to become more happy, because right now black people, we are supporting those leaders who they are really defending us black people, those leaders who they are really working according to the will of the people. That's why Ibrahim Traore, he has come out and also he's sending a warning message to those Caribbean and African leaders to change, because revolution, it is coming. And also I'm so proud of Ibrahim Traore, because he's that one leader whereby he has managed to unite all black people. We saw what happened on 30th April. Majority of black people in the world, we united to defend Ibrahim Traore. The black Americans, they came out and protest on the street, sending a warning message to the United States to stop threatening Ibrahim Traore. We saw Jamaicans, Rastafarians also, they came out and they were supporting Ibrahim Traore. Up to date, you have seen the videos whereby Jamaicans they are still defending and they are still supporting Ibrahim Traore. And also we saw Africa, majority of Africans, they came together and they are supporting Ibrahim Traore. So Ibrahim Traore has become a symbol of unity. Apart from being a leader, a true leader, he has become also a symbol of unity, because right now every black people, we are uniting just to protect Ibrahim Traore, because of we have seen how the Western people, they have been eliminating our good leaders. So right now black people, we are saying enough, it is enough. We don't want you guys to take down Ibrahim Traore. That's why we are so much we are defending and protecting Ibrahim Traore. And it is so embarrassed to see a few leaders. They are the ones who are supporting Ibrahim Traore, because we have seen also the Western countries, they are trying to use some African president to take Ibrahim Traore down, but that one we will not allow. So these people, they have been using the leaders who they are easy to manipulate so that they can take the other leaders down. But right now, it has made them impossible to bring Ibrahim Traore down. And also, this message, I decided to pass it to the Caribbeans because I really love the Caribbeans, and I want the leaders in the Caribbean also to support and talk about to support Ibrahim Traore. So we have seen Mia Montli, the Prime Minister of Barbados. She came out and she's always defending Africa, and also she talked about how the Western countries, they are destabilizing, how they are turning our leaders to be puppet, how they are taking our resources from Africa. So also Mia Montli, she want to see African standing by itself. And also we haven't seen any talk from the Jamaican Prime Minister, that it is Andrew Holness. So I hope the Andrew Holness is not becoming a puppet, because he's not talking about what it is happening in Africa. Other Caribbean leaders, they're always talking about what it is happening in Africa, but we have seen these people who have been turned puppet. They have been so quiet because they don't want to speak. If they will speak and support the true leaders, they fear that the Western might punish them, and that's why we are seeing majority of the leaders, majority of the black leaders, they are not talking. But this message, I decided to pass it to the Jamaicans, to Jamaican leaders, so that they can at least also talk about what it is happening in Africa, because I believe we are having majority of our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, in Jamaica. Majority of them, they were taken during slavery. That's why I decided to share this video with my brothers and sisters who they are in Jamaica, and also their prime minister to change, because majority of the Jamaicans, they have been complaining about Chinese coming in Jamaica and taking over. They are allowing more foreigners to come in and take over, and also we can see right now Jamaica, it is not fully independent. The colonizers, they have not yet leave Jamaica to be full independent. These people, they were given fake freedom. These people, they are not yet free from the hands of the colonizers. So what it is to tell them that Jamaicans, they need to stand up and be free from the hands of the colonizers. The colonizers, they are the ones who are making Jamaicans not to develop, because if the government wants to do anything, if the government wants to build school, if the government wants to build more hospital, if the government wants to create more jobs, they must ask the permission from the colonizers. And you can see the colonizers, that are the ones who are controlling some major things like Jamaican Bank. You can see the colonizers, they are the ones who are controlling the judiciary. You can see it is the Jamaicans who it is the colonizers who they are controlling. So this is tell you that Jamaica, they need to sit down and they need to be free from the hands of the colonizer. So this is tell you that these Western people, they don't want to leave our black countries alone. If they are seeing there's a goodness, if they are seeing there's something that they can achieve, they can benefit from the black countries, they will not easily leave black country. And that's why Ibrahim Traore, he's fighting the France to leave his country alone. He has managed to get them out of his country, but the France, they are not happy. So what the France, they are doing, it is they're trying to say bad things about Ibrahim Traore. They are saying that Ibrahim Traore is a dictator, he is using the goal of Burkina Faso to protect himself, but we know that it is not true. Ibrahim Traore, he has really changed Burkina Faso, and these people, they are not happy to see what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. These people, they always want our African country to still continue be poor, so that they can call our country third world country. But right now things are changing, and these people, they are not happy to see Africa developing. One thing that these people, they have been fearing, it is about unity. These people, they don't want to see African people uniting. They don't want to see black Americans uniting with the black people in the Caribbean. They don't want to see black people in the Caribbean uniting with Africa. This is something that these people, they don't want. That's why they keep on showing bad image of Africa to the black Americans, so that they can make black Americans not to come in Africa or not to have anything to do with Africa. But right now things I'm so happy because of the internet. We are seeing how the Africa it is developing. We have been seeing how these people they are lying to us about our leaders. They are calling our country third world country, and they are the ones who are making it to be third world country. Because of the internet, we can now find the truth and false. Because these people, they came out and said that Ibrahim Traore is a dictator, and yet we have internet, we have YouTube, we have TikTok. We are seeing what Ibrahim Traore is doing to his country. So all those it was lie, and these people, they have been using this lie so that they can eliminate our good leader. Remember what happened to Gaddafi, remember what happened to our previous good leaders. That one we don't want to see happening it again. So this was a message to the Caribbean leaders, and I hope they have received this message, and they will also stand by the right of the they will also stand and defend the black people in the Caribbean. And to the leaders, they need to stop being puppet. They need to work according to the will of the people. So can you guys let us comment down on the comment section, and see you on my next one. Bye bye guys.